Alright, Mastering SolidWorks, Chapter 25, Working with Drawing Views. In SolidWorks Drawing, the drawing view is a snapshot of a 3D model, a particular point of view. To change the lines value of the view, you have to change the 3D model. You do not just move the lines around the view. SolidWorks automatically maintains a view better than you could do it manually. You don't have to worry about drawing views being inconsistent and correct. All you have to worry about is the 3D modeling being correct. SolidWorks can be update type of the view, any point of view, even the most complex model and assembly geometry perfectly. In this chapter, you will learn to use common view types, explore other view types, sketching view versus sketching on a sheet. Creating a common view type. Chapter 24, Automating Drawings. The basics to discuss predefined views and templates. Predefined views and makes faster to automatically create direct drawings with consistently placed simple views. However, sometimes you need to create views on templates that don't have predefined views or a type of views that cannot be predefined, or you may need a special arrangement of views. SolidWorks has a good assortment of view types, make practically any type of views when you need it. Using View Palette. View Palette is shown in Figure 25.1, activated automatically if you use the Making Drawing from the Part tool. Using on the drawing template, you can select the predefined views on it. Note, the View Palette is automatically deactivated when you use the large assembly mode. When View Palette contains all standard names with the current view on the model, custom names views are included. Several save section views and annotation views. Views of the model or wasn't annotations were added to it. You can drag and drop these views on the drawing. Alright, it shows the view palette. Import annotation design, import and direct dimension expert. Annotation include items, hidden feature, 3D view annotation. Auto started project, front, top, right, view 1, view 2, view 3, back, left, bottom, and so on. And multiple parts of the available there. Listed with the drop down list at the top of the panel. You can also browse with the refresh, cancel out with the view in the same area with the deactivate with the view palette without even make of the drawing for the art. Tool simply create with a new drawing document and ensure with the task plan available to click on the view palette tab and into the task plan. Then you select the button, ellipse button, to browse a part. After you select the part, palette window will be populated with the views of the model. This model method has the advantage of enabling you to see with it before you put them down. It does not link views in the same way that predefined project views are linked here together. However, tip: you should be aware that it can take time to generate valid view palettes icons for larger assemblies. And this shows the paged modeling views. Modeling views is one of the view types if they're not independent of another view. Everything that started from somewhere. Most of the drawings start with either named or predefined view. A model's view starts with the name view in the model. You place the name views by clicking the model view button with the drawing toolbar or by choosing insert drawing view model. Using the model view property manager, two-step of the process listed and shown in 25.2. In the first step, you select with the model. In the second step, you set the options for the view. Views are dragged from the view palette are also model views. Shows model view property manager, message, reference, configuration, selected bodies, option, create multiple views, and then standard views, more views, mirror, import, option, display state, style, scale, dimension type, mirror, part assembly, thumbnail, options, and cosmetic thread display. Open documents. The large selection box of the part assembly didn't serve the pattern panel and display within the models of the open with the SolidWorks in the moment. If the model you are looking at isn't in the list, you can use the browse button to look for it. Typically, you would create with the drawing for the part assembly command if the part is open, and if not, with a drag and drop of the part of the new drawing created with the template with a predefined project views on it. With the combination saves a lot of the extra step. If you click on the drawing winding for the C reason with an example of expecting it to simply place a view of the prompt to pair, stating that you have selected the drawing document, that the only parts and assemblies can be inserted into drawings. Thumbnail previews is a nice option for the show with the part of the selected with the open documents window. It is a useful feature because they collapsed by default. It's easy to miss after it's used for the first time. It remembers the expanding setting. Start command when creating a new drawing option. Start command when creating a new drawing option card with the property manager open up immediately when new drawing is created. If you click on the drawing window, the prompt will appear and tell you that you're not paying attention. Reference configuration. Reference configuration list enables you to select the configuration part to the show with a view that shows up only with the create and new views, but also the generic drawing view property manager that shows up when you select any view. Selected bodies when part of the multiple bodies are called button called the select bodies or shows up within the panel. If the part does not have multiple bodies, you won't see this button. When you click the bottom of it, it will be immediately take you to another property manager, smaller one shown in Figure 25.3 called Drawing View Bodies, where you will be sent back to the model video window to select the body. Clicking the green check mark after selecting the solid body in the drawing view, the bodies will then send you back to drawing to the place of the view. It wouldn't send you back to the model view property manager. If you click the red X on the drawing view bodies property manager, Solidworks will leave you part of the window and you will have to press Control Tab to get back to the drawing window. Cosmetic threads and display. Make sure you read the name settings and carefully with the display style panel has the same with the option for the cosmetic thread display option. They can easily be confused. Distinction between high and draft quality is made performance reason, but the difference for the terms of the display is a high quality mode, hidden cosmetic threads. Cosmetic threads are hidden behind a face, does not display in shade mode. Number of views and orientation. To create multiple view with the toggle to create multiple view with the orientation panel of the model of the view property manager. Now select all the view with the standard views icon that you won't be displayed with, including any choice for the more views, such as the current model view with the name of the annotation view with exists. The views are indicated with the drawing as the boxes representing the viewing borders are shown in 25.3. The really useful functionality makes you view selection placement very easy and is very visually clear. Unfortunately, Signal Views is setting the default settings in, but the property manager does not remember the last thing that was used. Still, the combination of the multiple views and orientation is far better, in my opinion, than the view palette. Alright, placing multiple views, orientation, create multiple views, standard views, more views. Alright, import options panel with the bring annotation for the drawing view with it being created. You should find the advantage of being able to select the items quickly before the property manager the view is being created. Display state with the drawing you select with the display state with the probably meant for the situations like using display state with a hide to show operations. But remember that there is much more with the display state than just hiding and showing. You can also change the display styles, colors, and transparency. Display styles. Display styles is a selection included with the wireframe shape with the shade with the edge and so on. You can set with the default style by choosing Tools Option System Options Drawing Display Style provides an override for views being placed. This panel enables you to control the high draft quality views, which are described later in this chapter. Scale. SolidWorks drawing also always default showing the view with the overall sheet scale unless the system operation with the drawings page automatically scaled new drawing views is selected. If the setting is selected, the sheet scale saved for the drawing template is overridden. For example, the 1-to-1 sheet scale can be changed automatically by changing the setting 1-to-4. You can change the sheet scale through the sheet properties we have discussed in Chapter 4 with creating simple parts and drawings. Controlling views within the sheet scale makes it much easier to change the size of the drawing to scale all the views together. The individual views can be displayed at the view scale. The detailed views are typically created with a different scale automatically. To locate the scale setting and choose the Tools Option System option. Drawings automatically scale new drawing views. Detailed views covered later in this chapter automatically get note showing a custom scale for the view. You can automatically add a label to note the orthogonal drawing view displayed as the scale different from the sheet scale. You can access the setting tools operation document properties views orthographic. Enable to show the label as view scales different from the sheet scale with the option is specified with the rest of the settings shown in Figure 25.4 as appropriate. So you can go to Document Properties Orthographic, and it shows the orthographic standard, add views, the orientation, basic orthographic view, standard layer, label options, apply to change, resetting existing per standards, name, scale, delimiter, remove scale, around, colon, and slash, display label above, and then it shows the scale 1 and 2. Dimension type. Even non-orthographic isometric with the two dimensions show the view with the most strong of the views of the projected dimension with the dependent on the angle of the edge of the view plane. Using a projected view, the projected view typically simply makes a view that is projected with the direction with a drag with the cursor of the selecting view. For example, the dragging 45-degree angle with the result of the isometric with the placing isometric with created for this way. Solidworks and strength with a new view with a 45-degree angle with the origins to the two places. Two views of the place with the view somewhere other than along the line. Less control when while placing the view to break the alignment. Take the property manager and projected views as shown in figure 25.5. Property projected view, message reference, configuration, arrow, display state, display style, scale, dimension type, cosmetic thread, display. Be aware the first and third angle projections result in size of the result in the views that are opposite from one another. Third angle projections, typical American National Standard Institute, and the first angle projections, typically International Standard Organization. Although you often find third angle projections used in international standard operation organizations as well. When you use the pushpin projected view property manager, you can play with the multiple projected view with the originally selected view from selected with the new view from which the project views. Display properties and scale of the projected view with the taken from the parent view. Some of the views require more than one copy of the model loaded with the RAM into one, such as the views different configuration. These views are considered high cost because of the extra of the RAM requirements with the slowdown of the performance of the drawing. Projected view with the model views are low cost. And then shows a orthographical, three orthographical views. And the icon using standard 3 view with the axis the standard 3 view tool with drawing toolbars by choosing insert drawing view standard 3. Displays to the front view on the top of the right for the third angle projection drawing. Figure 25.6 shows the property manager standard 3 view function. Alright, part assembly, insert open documents. We have a part in assembly, and we're browsing reference configuration tree at 2.9. And then selected by his property manager, select open model that want to place in the drawing, and select the configuration body with the body or bodies to place here as well. Alright, then it shows the circle with an A in it. The using detail view, activate with the detail with the drawing tools, insert with the drawing view with the detail. Either way, you can choose the other function the two different ways. One of the fastest, easiest way, other way that gives you more control but isn't quite fast enough. Pre-drawing detail circle. You can draw with the detail of the circle because of the initial before you initiate the detail view command. When you pre-draw with the detail circle, you must ensure that your sketching view is not on the sheet with the draw with the view must be activated. To activate your view, clicking on the view by bringing on the sketch cursor inside of the boundary of the view. Activate the view with the taskbar with the lower right hand corner of Solidworks window to display with the message editing drawing view shown figure 25.7. So here's the user undefined editing view 4 locked focus. The dotted border of the image left show for the view is selected with the taskbar show for the activated for the image on the right. Solid corners indicate the view has locked focus. The locked focus of the drawing view with the double clicking with the right clicking on the selecting locked view focus on the menu. If your view isn't activated with the focus and isn't locked on view, then any of the sketch elements for the draw will be placed on the drawing sheet. While sketching drawing view is good for the practice to watch for the taskbar, the point of all of the sketch. A closed loop in the view can also be with the detail of the closed loop can be a circle, ellipsis, spline, series of lines, any other shape that as long as it is closed loop. A setting cursor. Setting controls how the circle loop display with a particular with the displays to the drawn any of the actual circle with the setting of the detail circle the property with the if the setting with the grayed out with the style with the option with the baby sent per standard sheet does not allow the non-circular detail circles. You should choose the leader instead of the changing of the drafting standard when you are using the different results are shown in figure 25.8. After you create a loop, you can click on the detail view toolbar to place the view, and with the view automatically scale with the factor of the tool, the option drawing detail view scaling. By default, the scale is set to twice the parent view scale, but you can reset the default to whatever you like. Drawing a detail circle in line, a faster way to complete with the detail view with a simple click of the detail view toolbar without pre-selecting pre-drawing loop with the activated circle sketch with the tool immediately, which activates the view as soon as bring the cursor over the view with assume when you draw the circle is to be in the rather than on a sheet. Alternatively, you swap the circle to from the ellipse and spline of the works just as well, but offers with more flexible. Regardless for the sketch tool, you can close loop. Solidworks prompts you to place the view with the workflow with the inline method better off the old school pre-drawn loop technique. Editing a detail view. You can edit a detail view with the dragging of the circumference of the detail circle with a new diameter, dragging the center of the detail circle with a new location, selecting edit sketch. Detail circle the right mouse button menu. Method enables you with the edit sketch relation. Otherwise, edit with the sketch with the use to detail. When you're finished with the sketch, you can use the confirmation corner of the click OK. You can delete detail views with the selecting and deleting the detail circle. The detail with the detail detail circle that gives you the option to delete the resulting views as well with the original sketch. Also, deleting the details view gives you the option to delete with the detail circle with the original sketch. Tip for performance consideration: detailed crop views that are considered low-cost views as they simply scale up the portion of the existing view. Alright, figure 25H shows the closed loop display detail circles as circles options are turned off and on, detail circles as circles are on, and then detail circles turned off. Detail view, detail circle per standard circle circle B document. Working with section view shows the section view on the side. Section view workflow goes like this: selecting the section view. Select the section view tool, select the view to the section, select an orientation, press the tab through to the option, place section line in the view, press the pop-up toolbar, click on the green check mark, accept, click the curly arrow to go back to the step, and click the X to cancel. 6. Place the view, 7. Double click around the section line to reverse the direction. Using Auto Start Section View option enables you to skip the pop-up of the toolbar. Set up figure 25.9 show with this new section view property and manage it as well with the cursor with the interface with the lines drawn with the automatically called section view assist. You can still draw with the lines manually if you find an easier way to get the results you want. 25.9 using the new section view tools. You use jog section line with the new section tool if you need the restore the sketching with the section line with the edit sketch option is available. New section view tool borrows some skill with other areas of the software. First, if the edit the sketch was borrowed with the sheet metal functional. If useful, have created a flange automatically wanted to edit it manually. Second, jog section works much more like an explode lines and assemblies. To create a jog section, vertical, horizontal, auxiliary section of options illustrated with the tool is shown figure 25.10. First is arc offset, second is single line offset, notch offset, go back step, X and circle pop-up toolbar for creating jog sections. You also specify how deep you want the section view to see if the part within the property manager section view. You can offer the deep depth with a number. You can select the face of the edge of the vertical vertex depending on the depth. You can also select a checkbox at the top of the section with the depth of the panel with the graphic handle becomes the variable with the drawing view, enabling you to visualize drag with the depth as well with the functionality shown in figure 25.11. Shows section setting the depth for a section view. Using half, partial, and slice sections. Half sections are full model view of the portion of the cutaway that shows the section. Unsectioned area of the partial section shows only a section area with a break background edges. Slice section only shows area actually cut without any of the model edges. These section types are demonstrated in figure 25.12. So here's half section and partial section. Slice section D. To get started, partial and slice sections, you can sketch a section line that does go all the way through the model. Doesn't go all the way through the model. To start a half section using section view assist is shown in figure 25.13. Using a line section view. The line section view takes the two separate sections again with the angles of one another, lays them out with a flat on the page, essentially with the two partial sections to display side by side. You can use the section view assist for line sections as well as selecting ledge option with the section view property manager shown in figure 25.14. Clicking the center line section to the plate for the cutting line in the view, but you can also select another center point to plate for the align line. Section line is vertical by default, but you can place it at any angles you choose as well. Property manager, section view, message, half sections, section view, cutting line, section view, partial, slice, auto, hatching, random scale hatch, pattern, emphasis, surface body, display surface, annotation views, import annotation, design annotation, dimension annotations, expert, include items, hidden feature, display state, display style, scale, dimension type, projector, true, cosmetic, thread display, higher, draft, save as, manipulated, drawing. Editing a section line. Section views are edited in the same way with the detail view. You can edit with the section line directly with the drag and view the section line through the right menu mouse button. Click on the right mouse button menu, select the Edit Sketch command to edit sketch relation with remove the sketch with elements from the sketch. Section views are deleted in the same way with the detailed view of the option. Also for delete with the underlying sketch for the section, delete with the one segment of the section line result of the view as well. With the underlying sketch is also deleted. Section views are considered high cost view because the computer must run in the RAM. Another version of model included with the section cut. However, the section views also communicate the relation for the interior of an assembly to an exterior very effectively, so that it may be worth extra performance or slowdown. Creating other view types. Solidworks can also create almost any type of view you need. You can put shade, real view, transparent view on the drawings. You can also put broken and broken out, section cropped, alternated position, empty views, even hand drawing views. Using a crop view simply views that looks like a detailed view without requiring a parent view. This forces unable to reduce the number of views of the sheet to save some room. However, crop views may be confusing if it isn't clear which area is being detailed with the crop view. Unlike the detailed view of the crop area view, with the closed view, it must be stretched with the view before the invoked in the command. Make the crop view to all the select and the closed loop is shown figure 2515. On the left, the click of the crop view button on the drawing toolbar acts for the command by the choosing insert drawing view crop. Sketch loop of the crop view. To edit the crop view with the right click with the expand with the arrow next to the crop view. Select the edit crop. Remove crop. Remove the top. Doesn't delete with the sketch view to create the crop. Again, crop views are considered low cost views. Alright, it shows a use broken out section. Broken out section is another view type of the alter of the existing rather than creating a new view tube. New view, it requires a closed loop sketch. A broken out section view is very useful with assembly views where parts are obscured by other parts, particularly instead of the parts inside of the housing. You show the inside of the part without hiding the housing of the course. You can also broken out sketch view on parts with the information internal detail. Broken out section views like cut that's created by the drawing view. Any faces created by the cut or hatch. The figure 2516 show the casting part of view of the broken out section. View, you can create a broken out sections on parts and assembly. You can create broken out section views using existing detail section or alternate position views. Notice figure 2516 with the temporary axis with the flange hole shown but it cannot be turned off. This problem displays a bug life over the Solidworks 2011. The hatch band with associated with the materials assigned each part with the chain with the hatch and double clicking with the hatch region with the setting with the dialog box shown figure 2517 chain with the hatch side with the selected with the material cross section hatch option. Broken out section views required with the specified with the depth of the break. You can also do the edge select with a different view with the distance of the specified with the depth and case for the broken out section with the depth is into the screen with all the regular section with the section depth is measured at a distance perpendicular to the sketch line. Drawing in the closed loop of the broken out section view with the initiate with the existing view with either with the view with the without pre-drawn with the closed loop of the loop of the pre-drawn with the must select it before clicking on the section toolbar button on the drawing toolbar. Click sending. Accessing command, choosing insert with the drawing with the view with the broken out section, view with the no drawn, pre-drawn, pre-selected with the initiate with the function, activates with the spline sketch tool with the necessary with the using the pre-line spline with the closed loop with the view type with the broken out. Section views traditionally create with a free shorthand boundary even when the draw is manually. If the loop is closed and interpreted with the workflow after the last spline point is drawn, the joining of the spline back to itself. Section scope dialog box will appear with enable you to select any of the parts in that section, but if the assembly isn't sketched, section view of the customary avoided section shaft screws with the other cylindrical components. Figure 2518 show the use section scope to exclude with the two shaft of the assembly with a section cut. Shows broken out section properties hatch solid none ANSI crop angle material cross hatch apply region layer options. 2518 show the drawing view properties in the section selection scope. Recommended workflow initiate with the function of the toolbar with the use of the spline with the create with the closed loop with the not pre-drawn of the loop. This makes everything flow much smoothly. If you will create with the view surprising quickly, it must use the schedule other than the spline. They must use the pre-draw with if the simply chain with the sketch field with the broken out with the section views automatically activates the spline because of the workflow has broken and creating the closed loop with the automatic display of the section scope interface. Selection of the depth. After you make the section scope of the section for the next step of the depth of the cut, you can do this in several ways. Broken out section views usually apply with the center of the whole, available the other ways, so a view of the cleanly as possible to know the depth of the cut you want to make enter for the distance value, of course, the raise for the question of the distance of what from what. Answer seems to be from the geometry of the view that would come from the farthest side of the screen toward the user view for the most often show the distance when it doesn't matter exactly how much depth the cut goes or exactly where it cuts, but it gives a relative position. In a situation where you want to cut a center particular for teacher out of the up to an edge, it's easier for the less bothersome to simply select geometry from the drawing. For example, the figure 2519 shows the property manager interface with the depth of the cut is set. In the example, the edge of the shaft is view to the right has been selected. If this tells SolidWorks that the cut should go in the center of the shaft. Another possibility to display with a temporary axis shown in figure 2519 to select the axis through the center of the shaft. Figure 2519 shows setting the depth of the broken out section view, and now we've looked at the depth of edge 1 and the distance pre-auto hatching and fasteners. Editing the views. At this point, the view is finished. Now you can choose the editing view in some way, such as by changing the sketch of the depth of the section scope of the figure 2520 shows how the broken out sketch view is positioned for the drag and feature menu with the list of the modification to existing drawing view. Broken out right menu mouse button is also shown. Select the edit definition display of the property manager. Refer to figure 2519. Selecting edit sketch box enables you to change section spline shape. The selection property of the display of the dialog box to the right of the 2520 contains option for the underlying original view as well with the broken out section modification to the original view. Only the section scope tab is added by the broken out view sketch view. The rest of the option for normal view properties. Figure 2510 show the broken out section view and show the edit definition edit sketch of the property of the broken parent general collapse item high tree and for custom property. Drawing view properties and view properties, viewing information, model information, configuration, information, display state. Alright, a break view. Break views are typically the display part of the very long one-dimension drawing in such a way that you can both end with the other import the view feature of the break views or more with them once for the same direction for the other opposite direction. Figure 2521 show the full view of a part of the view with a broken choice that none of the dimensions are correct. Any of the dimensions include with a broken length with a special dimension line. To create a break view, click the break toolbar button on the drawing toolbar. Choose it as an insert drawing view break. If you need to play for the break in line with the pairs, you can choose from one of 5 break symbol style with the shown figure 2521. You can change the style by right mouse button menu from the property manager. Alright, 2521 show the dimension of the breakaway view. Break line styles, break sketch blocks. Broken view property that also enables you with the gap side of the style with the break with the gap referred for the gap of the break line with the finished broken view of the setting that has override with the default with the view only with the default setting with the template setting found with the tools option document private the detail with the other options that you can set in this location. Our break line extends with the distance of the line, extend with the path of the model edges of the break line font with the on the line font with the page of the document property with the setting that enables you with the broken symbol with the dimensions found with the dimension page, but they also show with the dimension that is a broken line and broken views. You can change individual break with the broken view by selecting one with the break line with the pressing with the delete, and then you can add with the breaks and applying with the broken break command with adding more breaks to the view. You can alter with the breaks and simply drag with the break line with the past version. If it was possible to get with the view with the very confused with the dragging one of the sets break with the interfere with another set of the breaks, that problem has been fixed by not allowing break lines to be dragged past one another. The broken views enable the dimension of the break line themselves so that the model of the changes can change the location of the break lines relative to the part geometry. Consider the unbreak option with the right manual button menu temporarily unbreak a view with the making the dimension more convenient. If you intend to create two views, the one projected from the other, this is intended from both of you. For the create of the first view of the break is desired for them projected for the second view of the broken in the same plate for the parent view. Any projected child view will be broken in the same plate for the conversely, if you create a section view with a broken view, the section view will be broken as well. Alright, it shows an auxiliary view. Auxiliary view is that projected with the down orthogonal edge of the intent with the display shape, so the edge of the true length without foreshortening the top of the view with the often necessary features shut for the holes drilled at an angle, square of the appearing with circular view rather than foreshortened elliptical and auxiliary view shown in figure 2522 on the left. The edge of the view is of the create with the update with the auxiliary view with the reorientate itself with an image of the right, show with the auxiliary view project with the arbitrarily drawn sketch line. The line of the edge view of the project with the auxiliary view cannot be reselected. However, the sketch is view with the projected view with the edit sketch option available through the view or right mouse button menu. Alright, using alternate position. Alternate positions are able to view the assembly, show with the assembly with the two different positions on different view with the assembly that moves. The another view with the type of the does not curve with the new view with the alter with the exister view. Figure 25-23 show with the property manager interface with the alternate position view with the sample view with that. It creates the way of the representative drawing feature manager. Two auxiliary views. Alternate position views. To create alternate position, if you show that you have the assembly with the active drawing, they can have the multiple position. Click with the alternate position view button with the drawing with the toolbar. Choose with the insert of the drawing view, alternate position, and then select the alternate position view. Next, click with the drawing view to which would be added with the alternate position. Property manager shown 25-24 prompt with the use select with the existing configuration with the alternate position. Create with a new configuration. If you choose with a new configuration, choose to create a new configuration, the model window will appear with a new configuration will be created, and you will be required to reposition the assembly. Alternate position will be shown with a different line on the same view with the other, same in the orientation of the original. Tip of the best way to create the view with either with the two configurations exclusively for the alternate position that have the two configurations wherever the known of the parts won't be moved. Suppress or hidden. The main idea that if you need the ensure the configuration remain in the same position, change it intentionally. Know that it will also alter the drawing view. To delete alternate position view with the select with the drawing feature manager for the press delete. Figure 25-24 shows using save views command in the models. Show saved view in the Solidworks in the orthographical view. Alright, using a predefined file view shows a file with a file in it. Predefined view that discusses the depth of the 24 with the automating drawing and the basic of the primary view of the views of the drawing templates. Then you show the view, empty views just to the empty for the reason for the creating an empty view can include with the making the view with the sketch of the making schematic with the block with the combining several elements such as block sketches imported drawing geometry, the annotation symbol of the that can be moved with a single view with the drawing. Using a save view with the create with the view, save view with the orientation view with the model documentation, save with the view. Remember the views can be saved with the all viewing orientation window, which can access with the pressing of the spacebar, save with the reviews placed on the drawing view with the model view functionality. Save views are often used with the section view with the predefined view of the model and access quickly for the drawing, although not appropriate, showing the dimension view with the perspective almost all useful for particular illustrated views. The only way to get with the perspective of the drawing is to play with the save view of the model with the perspective turned on. Except for the perspective option with the choosing view, but the display with the perspective, you can edit the model with the perspective by choosing the view, modifying perspective. Access save view of the model with the pressing the spacebar, view with the save view file with the create the new save view by clicking on the save diskette symbol next to the numbers shown with the save views as shown in figure 25-24. To use save view for the drawing, place for the model view on the sheet with the select for the name of the save view for the model view list and for the second page of the property manager shown in figure 25-25. Or converting a drawing view to sketch. Right click anywhere within the inside of the view board with the gun, select the convert view to sketch. When you do this, you will be presented with three options. Replace the view with a sketch, replace the view with a block, insert with a block. Insert a view with as a block with a drawing sheet. With the second and the new option create with the block as a copy. You might want to convert a view to sketch if you want to make alterations to appearance for the actual model to represent the process for the illustration, something that you would be difficult to impossible to model. Saving a view as a D drawing or a DX file with the save of the drawing or DX file. We'll select the view with the property manager shows up. Then at the very bottom of the property manager, the panel called Save View As. The panel enables you to draw with the drag and manipulator view established for the insertion point. Click the save icon, which looks like with a diskette. Save the view with the DSF, the DX, DWG. Previously, this will be available only on the flat pattern views and for sheet metal or for entire drawings. Alright, shows a view with two arrows going on the part. The relative view property manager enables you with the creative view, but it does not necessarily correspond to any standard orthogonal view. The name of the views. Usually this type of the view is very similar with the using the normal to tool. First, look at the face of the presented square tube with the view with the select with the representative at the top of the view with the view type. It initiates Solidworks will open the 3D model window with allow you to select the face needed to define the view. Type of the view is particularly useful when the part has faced the odd angle with the stand panes of the part. In some ways, it's similar with the auxiliary view, except for the auxiliary view, you can select the faces at the top. Relative property manager has a special function important for the drawing of the multi-body with the both face of the established view with the same body that all rest for the side of the bodies and part of the hidden with any option. Relative view property manager, which is shown in Figure 25, 26, multi-body modeling is covered in Chapter 31, modeling multiple bodies. So for the relative view property manager, it gives you the message. Just select any plane of your face model with the graphics area of the window, open model with the right click with the graphics area and select insert from file. Cosmetic the red and display higher draft quality. Relative property manager relative view with the orientation. First orientation in the face, second orientation in the second face. Shows a view with a revolving part. 3D drawing view mode is not technically a drawing view type. Its mode is enabled you to select facing edges, move the model that may be needed to select with a zone for the purpose it cannot be seen from orientation drawing view. You can invoke the 3D drawing view mode from the 3D drawing view toolbar, which is the view toolbar, can be accessed by choosing view, modify 3D drawing view for the menus. And ironically, the mode doesn't work relative to the view for a relative view, which would be perfect application for it. Instead, relative view makes you go to the model window. The 3D drawing view mode is intended for the views of the broken out section views with the depth must be selected for the cut. Figure 25, 27 notice a small toolbar above the drawing view with the toolbars available. The 3D drawing view, the mode is turned on. Clicking on the small toolbar turns off the mode with the return to the view of the previous state. Alright, shows a fading circle, change of view, orientation, alignment. Although you've selected the top view of the display with the correct geometry, may, when spin the view in the place with the paper to orientation a particular way, you can do this and do the two mesh for the easiest way to reorientate the view with the rotate view tool on the heads up view toolbar with the rotates view and the plane with the paper much as it rotates with the model in 3D. Another option is select the edge of the view and assign the edge to be in either horizontal or vertical edge of the figure 25, 28. Shows how view of the reorientate the view of the tool, which can locate. Choosing tool aligning drawing view, horizontal edges and vertical edges. Now we went to align drawing view, vertical, horizontal, vertical. Do another view, break an alignment default and customize. Alignment, right menu, mouse button, menu refers to alignment with the entire view with the other view of the line with the toolbars refers to the aligning on the annotation line with the drawing view with the tools managed in this menu, although it does not reference the rotating of the view. Another option view alignment with the alignment relative to another involved with the stacking of the view on top of another, placing them on side by side. You can do this by selecting the second pairs of the menu shown with the 25-8 horizontal to another view, vertical to another view, pre-selecting a linear edge, activate the horizontal to another view with the vertical to another view option. Situations may arise where the view is locked with a particular partnership relationship with doing another view, the disassociated views. Break alignment option, which is grayed out in the menu, figure 25, 28, serve this purpose. Using the display option, to use some of the important display option setting that is not listed for the tools option menu, they are available only through the menu of the particular view menu that can effectively deal with the most items. View menu is assigning the hotkey that can be toggled on and off. For example, the action for the temporary action for the things that you want to often be visible when selecting something but not visible in printing drawing. They can easily assign the display of the axis. Temporary axis hotkeys make them ready to at your fingertips. Assigning the hotkeys by choosing tool customized keyboards. Using display states. You can use the display for the drawing view unless the only hitting with the showing the part of the display state. If you're not changing the color of the display style, but the display states have an effect only when the drawing view of the shaded display style. You can control the display states for the drawing view with the view properties manager for the drawing view properties dialog box shown figure 25, 29. One limitation of the display state functionality with the drawing views is when the wireframe drawing is wireframe is displayed. Drawing appears on the black rather than using color setting of the wireframe same color is shaded. Necessarily the color settings are found in the two places that you need to set both. System's option setting of the color page instant call the specified color for the shaded edge mode. The second setting is the part of the document properties not assembly, but again with the colors paved with the side and is called the apply same color to wireframe or hidden line was removed and shaded. Using display styles. In the 2D drawing world, it becomes becoming less and less black and white. Solidworks has their compatibility to apply the shaded view of the drawing, then probably mesh for the isometric perspective of the pictorial view of the drawing. Shading colors must be distraction for the dimension, shape for the detail, but can also be indispensable when you need to show the part that actually looks like it in 3D. No, not everyone can read engineering prints, even those who can nothing communicates quite like a couple of shaded isometric views. Our figure 2529 shows the view property manager drawing view reference configuration orientation standard views more views mirrors import option display states display sites high draft quality and then it shows over here picture. More standard 2D drawings display with the modes of the wireframe hidden line removed and the hidden lines visible, which will work in the same way as they do in model environment unless the override of the per part basis for the display mode is set with all of the components and views. Selecting component line font. With the individual components of the assembly can be shown with the display font symbol with the display with the alternate position view with the axis of the function. Right click with the component with the select with the component line font with the figure 2530 show with the component line font dialog box along with the drawing view with which couple of part line fonts have been changed. With the part can be changed only with the view with where it's selected and can be changed across the board in all view with the active drawings when it appears the useful when to emphasize with the de-emphasize certain parts of the assembly view. Using layers, yes, Solidworks drawings can use layers. They place the individual parts onto layers, and the layers can be different colors in line font. But the most entity that can be put into layers, including edges, the annotation, sketch items. The hidden layers are often used to reference information or a construction entity of the drawing. Figure 2531 shows the layer dialog box and layers toolbars on the Solidworks drawing. Component line font box display the default line style line thickness for visible hidden tangent crosshatch visible edges apply to all view selection layer and reset all yes okay or help using solid layer dialog SolidWorks box layers board and layer hidden visibility printability appearance style thickness. It comes in that OK cancel help or new delete and move. Working with a tangent edge display option. Solid drawings of the models offer some of the options of displaying tangent edges with the tangent of the breakdown, with the trim of the face, with the fade, with the tangent, with the touch, with the flat side, with the black, with the fillet that comes between them. Marriage you find with the distract, with the tangent, and with the physical part, with the non-edges, all with the given as much visible the way with the sharp edges, with the shade, with the trim, with the fine settings shown figure 2532, with the tree, with the view, with the display, with the select, with the from on the right mouse button, with the tangent edge, remove the option with the appropriate parts. View fillets becomes part of the overall simplify, but it makes the detail shape of the difficult to distinguish. Additional options are available, including applying with the color to tangent edge and shoot with the tools option color list for the tangent edge display with a higher show edge option. Figure 2532 show with the edge display options, show with the view, but then you can go to display with the figure the edges option. Tangent edges shown, tangent edges with font tangent edge with the fonts and remove the tangent edge with the removed. You can select the hide show edge for the tool from selected edges. You just click on the which with nothing is selected with the activate the hide show edge property manager shown in 2533. Hide show edge functionality availability with a high quality view. The view quality is a very draft for the next section. Hide show edge is available with the left control click context toolbar with the right mouse button middle life or line font toolbar. The property manager can indicate with the hide show edge works with the selection, although it has no box or shows edge selected. Tools offered may not have been wide generals appeal, but probably will be most useful to people documenting complex shapes or plastic parts. High non-planar edges are meant simply for the display of the complex part with lots of curvature. High blend edges, the limits of the filtering edge of the curvature of the continually across the edge, which are usually found within the more only in more sophisticated surface parts. Height edge shorter of the option gives you the ability to filter the edge display again. These settings apply only to the current view, not to the entire drawing. Figure 2533 show the hide show edges property manager offer tangent edge display. Hide shows edges. Message click the selection of the toggle edge visible. Box selection toggle activate selection shift. Plus box selection edges include previous selection. Alt box clears all edit selected edges. Tangent edge filters, hide non-planar edges, hide blended edges, hide edge shorter than, and then show the scale and an up to dynamic selection, and that can be reset at all. Take note of the options. Hide show edge of the property manager menu box shown to 2533. Box selection toggle activated selection. Shift box selection all edges including previous selection. Alt box selection clear all selected all edges. The mask selection option can be imported for if you want to command with the tangent edge filter with hide non-planar edges, hide blend edges, and hide shorter than a given value. Choosing view quality settings. You can choose these between the two options for the drawing: view quality, high quality, drafting quality, quality that can influence the performance of the software of the draft quality view of the noticeable whenever rough the view colors with the distance look the way they should. All views created with a high quality should be view quality setting is overridden to define setting show the tools option system the option of the drawing display style with the display quality for the new views. The only other way that you can create a draft quality view is if you open the drawing from an older version of Solidworks and that you have the drafting quality views. Figure 25.2 earlier in chapter the right to show the display style plane with the property manager has taken with a high quality view. Draft qualities will view enables you with the toggle between the draft quality and high quality views as shown in figure 25.33. This means that your cursor view is from draft to high, but not from high to draft. Also notice that the figure 25 to 29 cursor of the draft view will display with a lightning bolt symbol to indicate the drafting quality. You can access the cosmetic red display setting of the both step 1 property manager, step 2 property manager. However, if you need to be careful to misread the interface for thinking of either of the interface control of the view quality. If you think about the performance within the drawing, being aware of draft quality view of the creative with the graphic tessellation and the triangle base for the display information, high quality views are generally directed for the non-uniform, rational, bended spline geometry. Distinguishing views from the sheet. Sometimes difficult new users for the understanding of the difference between the being in the sketch and the being out with the sketch for the difference between the editing and the sheet without over the sheet format. Same way confusing frequently, so remember the difference between the sketching of view with the sketching on a sheet. But the easiest way to determine the sketch for the associated with the view or with the drawing sheet is to look at the prompt with the lower right hand corner of the SolidWorks window of the taskbar displayed with the message editing sheet format, editing view. This should become especially important when you want to do something in the sketch and is grayed out with the unavailable means with whatever, and even to actively note that the one sketch entity is on drawing view borders and expand to contain all sketch entities associated with the view. So if you see a view with extended on the one side larger than it should be, it could be extended with the containment of the grayed out sketch entity. Activate the sheet with the suspected view with the sketch entity turns the gray to black. You found the place where it resides. Alright, tutorial working with the view types and setting the options. Tutorial intended to familiarize with the view types and setting the options involved with creating view at the beginning with the steps to follow and download materials option called Chapter 25 Tutorial Solid Part. Move the drawing template to the mastering 22 page B-size drawing document as found with the download material for the templates folder. You do not have to know where the templates are located. Choose tools option systems allow location document templates from the window of the opening of the part, making the drawing of the from the part on the toolbar of the drawing will be populated in 3 standard view. The isometric view is shown in figure 2534. Click the section view tool of the drawing toolbars. This will activate the section view for the assess the tools. Using templates predefined views. In the top of the view, the upper left section of the drawing with the vertical line picks up the interference for the origin over the edge midpoint. You may have to run the cursor over the origin, activate with the interference lines. Is shown over 2535. After you play for the click the green check of the top of the tool for the accepted placement and play for the section view to the right of the parent view. If you cannot see the origin, the view menu to show it. Figure 2535 shows creating the section view. Change the later label of the drawing. Click the section line and change the label on the top of the panel. Selection view. Property manager. You may see section scope dialog box accessing you to orbit the rib. The featured ribs are usually not hatched in section lines. It shows the cutting plane line with a point and a pencil line. You bring the cursor over the corner of the section line cursor of the image to the left of the double click the light. The cursor section arrows to flip up the other direction, and then the drawing view will become crosshatched. The crosshatching indicates the views need to be updated. 7. Press Control Q to view the update. Remove the cross-hatching. Click with the section line with the press delete. Answer the yes to prompt. You may also need to separate the delete. Sketch section line. Create the new section view with the dog section line with the shown figure 2536. To do this, section view is system be activated with the section view tool with the selection vertical option. Play with the cutting line with the origin. Select the single offset in the popular toolbar is shown figure 2536 with a click at the line origin. Then pull the drag to the right is shown figure 2536. Click the detail view button on the drawing toolbar, but this will activate with the circle sketch tool. Sketch the circle in the front view with the look of the lower left section of the drawing. Try not to pick up the automatic relation for the center of the circle. One way to prevent this is hold down with the control key when creating the sketch. Place the view with the circle complete with the note that the view with the creative with the 1 and 2.5. The sheet with scale is 1/4. So the detail is 2 times the sheet scale. The detail view is shown in figure 2537. Drive the circle to the circle. Watch the view dynamically resize. detail sizing. Leaving the detail circle with the select with the center of the circle, the highlight with the drag with the circle around it, the effect with the leg of the moving of the magnifying glass over the part. If you drag with the center of the control key with the press, you will pick up the end of the automatic sketch relief with the drops in somewhere with the click of the broken section view of the tool, drawing toolbar, drawing a spline on the right view with a similar one shown with the left image, figure 2538, using section depth of 1.5 inch, working with spines and a little practice. Click at the inside view board of the outside of the part with the top view of the upper left of the section of the drawings, control C. Click the add sheet icon right to the sheet tab at the lower left-hand corner of the drawing. Say Sheet 1, select Add New Sheet. If you view the template provided with a message may appear with the Solidworks cannot find with the format. This is because I only supply with the template format, not the format separate file. Any of the cases which with this B size accept the size format accept. Click any spot inside of the sheet with a click and control view. Solidworks will paste the copy view from the other sheet. Leave the section view line that you also need to select with a sketch line with it separately. 19. Click with the projected view with the type of the tool with the drawing the toolbar. Click with the paste view. Practicing making a couple of projected view with including and drag one of the 45-degree angle to make it isometric. Make one of the view with the side view shown with an angled edge for the figure 2539 event. After you create the views, click the model edge image view with the drawing with the round with a better location figure 2539. 20. Selecting an edge, angled edge with one side of view, clicking the auxiliary view toolbar button, and placing the view with the pressing of the control key to make and break an alignment of the right side of the view area of the collecting corners and dragging. If you drag with the line itself, you can move it between the view with the alternately the view area selected with the property manager display with the select with the green checker mark icon arrow panel to the top of the window to turn off the arrow. Or creating a new drawing with a new dialog box. Save the template with a predefined view with the inch and Bible template with no view with the drawing document with it will work. You just look at the default solve with the work template and you with the view file with the tools with the third angle with the refer with the then a first angle projection. Any easy way to do this is drafting standards from the ISO ANSI toolbars option document parts drafting standards. If the associated automatic model view interface appear with the projection manual, click the red icon to cancel it out. 22. Expand with the task pane with the activate the view panel with the tab if it looks like with the drawing icon. Click with the ellipse button with the brow with the assemble the name chapter 25 SF casting assembly solid assembly is shown with the 2540 drive with the back of the view with the drawing with the notice pane view with the technique. If you do not reside the automatically regardless for the setting of the tools option drawing automatic scale with new drawing view. Deleting any of the view created with the message open Windows Explorer brow with the assembly drag it into the drawing view with the create view with the method. They're equivalent to stand 3 view tool, and at this time it will view auto size. View palette. Selection front view with the chain with the back view with the notice of the rest of the views, chain with the reflect with the new parent view with the will give the get a warning about this chain with the zoom in the back view with the chain with the view with the tangent of the front of the view with the display, also chain with the right view with the right mouse menu button. Click alternate position view with the toolbar with the type of the property manager for the new configuration. Click with the green check mark. Solidworks will open the assembly made model view window. Rotate the handle with 90 degrees. Click with the green check mark icon. On the board. Turn to the drawing. Show the new position for the dash file with the shown with the 2541. Place isometric view with the drawing chain with the display mode to make it into a shaded view. Right click with the inside of the view. Put away with the part. Select with the property dialog box will show with the figure 2542. Make sure that the view is set to the alpha default configuration. Select with the show is exploded in state option. Figure 2541 shows creating an alternate position view, and then 2542 drawing view property box. Bottom line, Solidworks has the capacity for making a different type of view for the part. In addition, with the toolbox with the projection view, for the custom view, for the model document that can be saved with the used on the drawing. Associated nature with the drawing with the model helps you mature with the drawing view, with regardless of the how unusual selected section angle of the view orientation display on the correct slide of the location geometry. Sometimes better to create some of the views that require sketch by pre-sketching, utilizing workforce enhancement for the possibility of, for example, the automated workflow over the broken out sketch work section works with the force to get a manual process to make it be awkward to use. Master, include the download chapter 1, including introduction. Solidworks should be find a folder with a documented part of some of the drawing templates windows. Explore sort of the templates, copying the drawing document with the template with the location specified with the tools option, system options, file and location document tab. Let's Master, use a robot or assembly with the drawing tab with the chapter career with the drawing with the alternate position view with the first drawing with the drawing the views of the individual pages parts on the page or after the first one. Make sure that you have the template with a special page with the page 2 format. Master, create a new drawing. Place the two views due to the separate parts using the model view tool. Next, rotate with 90 degrees. Align it with the second view. Chapter 26, using annotations and symbols.